Okay, almost forgot to put my mic on. Let's see if stream is on. Yep, stream is on. Yep, okie dokie. Now, let's see. I have an ID, but I do need to check some things for that, so you're gonna see my progress. I hope anyway I managed to unmute my microphone successfully, so I'm gonna try it, unmute it, and see what if I hear anything, and then immediately mute it. Yep, it's working. It's working. Why are you here? You're supposed to be in this screen. Which number were we talking about? And good evening. Right. Where are you? Really? That thing is 680 years old? Impressive that it still works. 600 years ago, that means the 1400s. Am I right? Yeah, so around 1400s. Okay. Probably not this way. Yep. Right. It should have a list how it's spelled. Seriously. I'm looking for an event, and I know I did it wrong last time, so... Ah, see? Yeah, maybe not the most fun one. So let's send it through. Wait. I have a lot of things open. I'm getting overwhelmed. There we go. Considering Moose is lit, I don't think we even can blow the candles together, but so I have an image. Oh, don't worry, I'm not done yet. I'm just sharing the text with other people. Don't worry. I'm not, the comic isn't done yet. Sometimes the title comes at the end when you have a good title. Remember, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes you just have to give me some time. Because right now I need some feedback from a couple of people. And only then I can think of a title. Okay, so while other people are looking at it, I'm going to sketch this slightly upwards. Bigger image. It's not that slanted, it should be less slanted. Okay, so less slanted. Wait. I'm mixing up things. My reference is not very clear, so I'm working with 3 pixels. So that's why this didn't look slanted. Because what was slanted was not the system, it was the bridge behind it. And that's a bit slanted backwards. It's a bit slanted, but okay. This one. I'm not going for a perfect representation because that's simply impossible. I'm not an architect. But it should be recognizable as the bridge. You can't really see other parts except the line. I'm moving the bridge guardian's house slightly more nearby. And the other one is about here. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you already recognize it. Okay, it's the text is already shown in the first panel, but glad you recognize it. Alright, and I need to make the rail. And I'm making Penny do something very dangerous. Huh? But at least Penny's already going to get punished for it. Or at least scolded. I'm fine, thank you for asking. Well, what else? Sent my book to the editor. So it's waiting for that. I did intend to start editing book 6. But unfortunately, I was able to move a lot in my new studio. Had an order. Did some streaming over there. So I wanted to do it yesterday. And then there was a couch. And then it suddenly was bedtime. So that's pretty much what I did. So maybe I'll be able to do this to start book 6 tomorrow. Usually that goes a lot faster than book 5, than the Dutch version. So, and of course I still have to move around with my mini studio. I'm gonna call it a mini studio for now. Which means I have to move a lot of books that are over there towards my old working space. So I have time to look that through, and of course a lot of binders with a lot of information, things I saved, and I do have a paper shredder, and I can tell you that's very, very therapeutic. Just to shred things from your past, mostly the bad memories. That's just what that's really nice to do. Oh, be careful. I wonder, I think I got this tablet in 2011 or 2007. I can look it up. There's one image I have that I was one of the first I created, and I uploaded it on DeviantArt. So that's usually the time when I got this tablet, and it's still working fine. Sure, it has a few scratches here and there, and maybe the pen sensitivity isn't that amazing as the things are now. But seriously, this machine is still working great. So let's see. Was that this image? 2008. And this is 2009. So I think, yeah, 2008 should be the time I got this machine. So that's, I'm calculating. Don't say anything, just give me a moment. Oh, that would mean this machine is about 15 years now. Good boy. Very good boy. So that means that this machine is about the same age as the penny comic. Of course, in the beginning I wasn't really good at this thing, and I still lived at home, so it was really a hassle to get the machine ready. Really, I was really supported by my parents, so they really sacrificed a lot for me. Yes, I know, and I do recognize it. But now that I have a solid station to work, that really helps a lot. Okay, that's not a nice pose for that hand. Please don't help me think of a title. I'd like to do that on my own. Right, a lot of things to draw. And what will I do after this stream? Well, it depends. Like I said, I'm super tired. probably been moving way too much for the new spot. Let's lock the sketch layer so I can't accidentally override it. And let's make it back. So I think I want to go for my visual novel because the frame is almost done. And there's a little window up there. As far as I can see anyway. Like I said, I'm working with a small image. Oh, that's a bit misaligned. At least in my mini studio, I moved most of my watercolors, most of my acrylics, pretty much all my resin molds, not everything, but most of it. So I still have to move just acrylics that were scattered around. And I still have to move all my rhinestones and other things for my hair swords. I could write the text on it, but I actually don't want to because it would draw away from the rest of the image. So there is text on these. There will be yellow parts, but I just don't want to. Just to not draw away the fact that the bridge is opening and someone is running away from it, meaning they ignored the safeties. Really, there are that little barriers? And they're stuck to nothing but that? Okay, well, I guess. I do hope they won't change the color of it anytime soon. Because if they do, then I have a problem. Then I have to repaint the whole comic. Then everyone who bought this comic, I have to come by and repaint it. For those who didn't get it, that was a joke. And this is... And then there's this one up. This one has a line over here as well. There's one a curved one over here. Okay, so this penny needs to be a lot lower. I accidentally interpreted something as a bridge. Well, it wasn't. There we go. Lock it. Right. That means if I want to be funny and show consequences, okay, to anyone who's ever gotten a ticket, and I think maybe one person in the chat might have. What color are fines usually? Are they yellow? Are they pink? I mean, I don't drive a car and I'm good at two shoes, so I don't get into trouble actually. At least not often. Yeah, me neither. If my phrases sometimes sound a bit weird, I have multiple chats open. Not everyone is a member of Twitch. Not everyone wants to create an account. So sometimes I have different chats. Fines are white nowadays? Okay. Before I forget, to the oldest person in the chat, I've sent you a private message because I still have a question. So if you could take a look at our usual communication ways, medium, that would be great. Okay. I think this looks decent. Now to put this over here. And to the oldest person in the chat, you haven't checked our usual talking medium just yet. Maybe the oldest person doesn't think it applies to them. Well, we're only young at heart. As old as you think you are. Papa Smurf had a whole song about it. It was a horrible song, by the way. Fine, I'm gonna type it. Ah, finally. Oh, that's a bit too much. Yeah, he already got the message. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming up. Ugh. And while we're at it, hydrate. Drink, drink, drink. Hydrate or dihydrate? Really, you have the funniest things. You already have saving saves lives. And now hydrate or dihydrate. Keep those puns coming. We love them. Not sure if you can call them puns, but I like them anyway, so keep them coming. Wow, that screaming is really needed outside, guys. It's not even raining. It's supposed to be code orange today. Disastrous weather. Well, maybe it was somewhere in the Netherlands, but not here. I usually usually make don't give my people my annos any facial hair, so this one's gonna get a mustache. Reason? Because I can. Okay, now this doesn't look good. This needs to be part of. There we go. That's better. Well, I hope your code yellow will be the same as our code yellow, meaning that in the end it was not that bad. But better safe than sorry, so I don't mind the warnings. Most people will pay more attention. Oh, really? An armada of black clouds. Well, we had some threatening clouds today, but not that much actually. And I was done slightly earlier than usual. So I made a little video which will be posted in the beginning of the new year. Second week of the new year, because the first week everyone is still having parties and visiting family and whatnot. So I decided second week. And it's a video about how I make 3D printable files of my art. I know some people are like, oh, don't say it. Keep your secrets, otherwise everyone will do it. And well, first of all, you know me, I don't gatekeep knowledge. Second of all, it's not that hard to figure it out yourself. And third of all, it's half a year in the future. By that time, I already printed a lot of things. I'm working with it on my 3D printer. There's already a few videos of that. There's a cross video where you see me working on them. So it's not a complete secret anymore. Just a how to make a 3D printable file from your art, it's still a lot of trial and error, even for me. Each time I'm like crossing my fingers it actually works as intended, and that I won't forget steps myself. So, like I said, I share knowledge. Keep it a secret for, well, not really secret, but I'm keeping it somewhat of a secret for about half a year. It's quite long, by the way. And people can figure it out for themselves if they want to, and if they don't want to, fine by me. As soon as I perfected my my standees, like the one I'm working with for sushi on, I will probably offer them for sale, the 3D designs, on my Ko-fi, so people can print them themselves for a small fee. Personal use only. I will make a whole booklet with what you can and cannot do with those images. I also want to do the stained glass version for sale as well. Once in a while I will make something fan arty, so people can do some fan art, and the fan art pieces will be for free. That's a small hand. But of course I won't be posting fan art every week. I mean, it's supposed to be some sort of income for me, so, and I'm not expecting huge amounts. I'm not going to ask huge amounts because I did this a design, but other people will spend their electricity and finalizing the images. So if it's a really complicated design, I'm guessing about 10 euros maybe. But if it's an easy design, probably less. And like I said, fan art will be for free. Maybe I want to make chibi standees of the witch characters in their old designs, probably their first designs, and maybe later on their new power designs. I have my opinions of the new design. I already pre-ordered the Italian version. Do you read Italian? No, not really. Sometimes I can get it because of my I have had a few years of Latin. That sometimes does help, but I don't really read that much Latin, but maybe I can get the gist of it. It's a reboot, so with Wings Club I didn't care enough to create to gather the Italian comics, and when you're talking about the standees, maybe. Wings Club has a lot of designs, and a lot of those things end up on AliExpress. So I'm not really keen on that just yet. Maybe later, you never know. I mean, I want to do a Melisande and Melusine standee first then. That's closer to my heart anyway. And considering it's fan art. There's so many characters I would love to do. But you know me, I only have two hands and my own projects have priority. And the free ones are just freebies. Of course, people can always donate to suggest characters, but donations do not mean I will give their character priority or that they get exclusivity, because I simply, yeah, if people suggest, I know people want it, so then I can put it on my list. But when I do it, that's up to me. It's not a commission. It's a donation with a name drop, a suggestion. Because people would love Sailor Moon. Well, then you have already 10 Senshi Tuxedo Masks, Sailor Cosmos, all the evil girls. That's really a lot. Sure, it's practice for me and it's a lot of attention, but there's a lot of characters in this universe. So original characters will come with a fee. Fan art will be for free, but I decide when and how they will look, of course. I've even already read a clause of what if you don't like the character as I drew them, then you can always suggest it again with a more descriptive version how you want it. But that doesn't mean I will do it right away. I also will take up commissions for people. Then they will get exclusivity. But if they won't pay, or they will do a refund, because I'm of course accepting PayPal and all that things, then those designs will become public with the notification unpaid commission, and then everyone can use that. Because I'm not stupid, I know how people work with scams. So if they scam me, they simply get punished that their character becomes available to everyone online. And of course, if someone decides they own a character and they don't want my file available, all they have to do is just ask me. I doubt I will get cease and desist letters. I mean, I'm just a very small person who barely will sell anything. But if they do, well, then I will just respect that. So it's best people download the files as soon as possible. One of the characters I actually want to do quite early is probably Misty from the new My Little Pony. But every drawing takes a while, and then you need to fine tune it. I might not test print all the characters myself, and then I will mention it. This is not a test printed design. And then I hope people will let me know if anything goes wrong. Because, while I don't mind, I don't have space for 712 standees and tests. Of course, I will have to create one of shampoo. That one is very early on the list. And for those people who like, what, shampoo again? What's with you and shampoo? Well, technically, thanks to shampoo, I'm married now, so I'm gonna give that gal all the love I can get. I think that's all the lines. And I also want to do standees of Pokemon. Of course, my favorite Pokemon first. And eventually do them all. Well, they're about 900 right now. So that's also just suggested with a donation. And maybe then it will bump up on my list. I will probably make an Excel and then note how many donations a character has. And when there's a donation, it will get bumped up slightly. Eevee is not one of my favorite Pokemon, actually. I'm more into Vaporeon. Oh, that's a very, very slim officer. Well, actually, that is possible. But that usually doesn't... Anos don't really are that slim. But from the evolutions, I'm mostly Glaceon and Vaporeon. Because they're blue. And maybe I'll do Pokemon characters like Misty, of course. For those who are not into the lore, there's a character named Misty in both Pokemon and My Little Pony. Mermaid Misty is a possibility. I mean, Mermaid Misty is more fun than Casual Misty, but like said, people are free to donate, and then I will put characters on the list. And eventually, if I want to do it myself, then people are just lucky, and otherwise they'll just have to wait their turn. I know that a lot of people would love to have free stuff, but I'm a one-man show. One-woman show, actually. And those who know me know I really live by the Dutch saying, those who ask are passed. Vragen worden overgeslagen. Because I really dislike greedy people. And sometimes people are like, yeah, but I'm not asking. Yeah, well, I know subtle hints. I've worked enough with entitled people that I know to recognize when people are trying to get stuff for free or their way, but making it seem like it would be my idea, my suggestion. That's, for example, well, let me think of an example. Like I'm saying, well, you can't have that. That's not in your contract. Oh, really? But I really wanted it this and that way, and it's a shame it's not possible that way. If only there was someone, and then they hope I say, oh, wait, we can do this and that. And I'm like, what are you trying to achieve? I know what you're trying to do. It's actually quite insulting if people try to get stuff that way. I'm not that dumb. There's a lot of things I have to learn, and I fall for a lot of tricks. I'm not the smartest one around, but I can see pretty well through people who are trying to use me or try to get free stuff from me. There, let's save some work. Actually, there was an old lady I know who was really taken advantage of. If you visited her, there were always nice conversations, and then she was very old. And people suddenly were talking about, oh, you have such a lovely, well, let's say something. You have a lovely clock on the wall. Oh, it's so amazing. It looks so great. It's a beautiful clock. And then she was like, oh, you want to have it? And either she wrote the name on the back of the clock for the person to have it when she would pass, or you would get it right away. And I really, really disliked that because it just showed how greedy people were. So that's when people try to do that with me, they really do not get their way. If they say something, oh, I love it so much, it's so beautiful. Sometimes even, I wish I had the money to buy it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know what you're trying to do. Then you might as well just be blunt and like, gee, that looks really great. Can I have it? Then at least you're being honest. There. I don't actually know if cops can give fines for doing this. So it's just an authority figure. Oh yes, we have a couple of those people who ride around on their mobility scooters, their music blaring loudly, and complaining, youth nowadays. I just don't get it why people think that's okay. I already don't get it from teenagers, but teenagers, they don't really think things through. That's normal for teenagers. But really, if you're in a mobility scooter, you're about 70 years old, and then you go driving around with a boombox, even though it's a miniature one, and then we have to enjoy the music you enjoy. And most of the time, it's not enjoyable music. It actually wants me to go to those people and ask why. Why do we have to? Why are you doing this? Are you really that selfish? Because it is selfish. If you force people to listen to your music, that's selfish. It actually quite amazes me, knocking on wood, that we have a flat nearby, and last year there was people who had like parties every 3 days, every weekend, till the dead of the night. I'm talking about 2 a.m. And this year it's actually quite silent, but they probably will start doing this around the end of the vacation because they might be on vacation right now. Or maybe they got a job. Getting a job does wonders for socializing, meaning you start thinking about others. I had a friend, still have a friend, and whenever he had time off, he asked for if we could meet up. But that was always when he had a vacation and I still had to work. So that never worked out. So sometimes people just forget other people have plans, lives, and have their own time, their own schedules. I always try to keep in mind that people have schedules. So for example, if someone works on an elementary school, then I can't go like, hey, I have this Wednesday off in the morning. How about you? Because then you know that person is in front of class. They just can take time off whenever they want. Sure, of course, and I know that mobility scooters are not always for the older young people who need it as well. So I apologize if I give the impression that mobility scooters are only for old people. I was implying that if you are in a mobility scooter and you're old, that combination, then you should know better than to drive around with a boombox. And if there's still like young people in scooter mobility, actually anyone who has a boombox, no matter their age, should know better. But it's easier to understand from teenagers because they're just teenagers. They haven't learned to think about other people just yet. And even though they hear it, it's the nature of teenagers to be selfish. That just is the nature of a teenager. There are little teenagers who already think about the world. They should, but that's just teenage behavior. But anyway, that's all I had to say about people forgetting there are more people in this world. So let's try to think of something happy. So it won't be another complainy stream, because complainy streams are not very fun to post on YouTube's. Now to think of a subject that isn't complainy, which is usually tricky because I'm a complainy person. So if anyone has a global subject, meaning not something that happened in their lives, but something that we can all talk about, feel free to share it. I mean, it's my stream, so technically it should be about me, but I'm always willing to hear about wonderful things in the world. And today I'm typing it in blue. This is a lot of things I need to select. Probably gonna use a brush soon. Okay. I see no global suggestions for topics yet. Only very local and not everyone connected. So how about well, when you don't know what to say, hydrate. Any change in the weather outside? Or is it still not as frightful as predicted? I mean, it's still not dark over here. Well, grey and dry is fine with me. When in doubt, talk about the weather. There's always something to say about the weather. And maybe if I'm lucky, it's crossing fingers. It also depends on the temperature. I may be able to 3D print something tomorrow. But it's a maybe. Very big maybe. And then it would be the thing I created for the little video. And there's clouds in this picture. So I'm gonna add clouds. It's technically still the only thing I have this program for. Because this is something you can't use in the other story program, art program. That was the word I was looking for. Okay, there we go. Z. Wait, that's not good. First, I need to do this, and then I need a bit more, probably. Yep, even more. Otherwise, you can't see it. Okay. And now I need to add some clouds. Old trick. Where is it? Render clouds. This is not what we're looking for. Wait, lightning was even more. What I do want is brightness contrast. Okay. And I want to... I'm experimenting now. This is not something I usually do. Extract lines. Okay, so let's see how this works. If I add it as a... and then I Shift-E to make it white. Does that work? Then I first need to select it. No pixels selected. Great. Adjustments. Invert. There we go. At least we have some clouds here. Difference in skies. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming up. Watch Penny and you'll know when I sneeze. No, that's not it. That's just a shock lock. Oh, you don't get a funny face when I sneeze. Sheesh. I forgot to do highlights. But luckily, we're still not done, so I can still do the highlights. That's probably something I need to highlight a bit. And then highlight it a bit from here. And highlight a bit on this layer. I'm probably not going to be able to save it normally. Probably will have to save that, first restart it. Right, now we're going to do a sun. And I like creating suns because that's really easy. First you get a big brush. Make sure shape dynamics is off. That's fine. Maybe you won't even see it because of the text bloom, but that's okay. I like doing it. Your color overlay is going to be white. See, it already looks like a sun. You have an outer glow that's yellow and you have an inner glow that's yellow. And perhaps maybe a bit less bright. There we go. And we made a sun because suns are not yellow. There's a hint of yellow around it. I'm gonna intensify that glow, by the way, make it more yellow. Put it on normal. Overlay. Soft light. Nah, it's on screen. There we go. You probably won't see the sun in the other frames. Meanwhile, I thought of a title. So that was my thought progress. Sometimes I just need a little bit more time. Okay, someone's screaming outside again for no good reason, per usual. Also need to add some apostrophes, I believe it's called. So you don't have to do a text check just yet. Things will change on certain points. It would be a shame if you would put effort in there and then 3 minutes later things are different. So per usual, I will let you know when it's safe to text check. think my allergy is coming up. And I get more allergic, I know that sounds weird, whenever I'm tired. It's pretty much the same. Well, you actually see the sun. Okay, now it's time to text check while I go blow my nose because it's really stuffed at the moment. So go text check. I'll zoom in slightly for other people. Okay, that was a funny expression. Okay, thank you for the text checks. First, let's see if I can save it or that I need to restart. Okay, it's saving. I'm okay with that. Still gonna restart, but now I'm gonna restart for the banner. Banner. Okay, this looks pretty ominous. Which is good, by the way. And now the file for words in a literal sense. Wait, In Dutch it's with a small one. I think this is it actually. There's not much I can say about it. Okay, still waiting for one person, but while I'm at it, I can still start the email off screen. Aye. Just have to delete all the spam I got. Why so much spam? I can meet women above 50 nearby Breda. No idea why I should even be near Breda, but I can meet them. No idea why I should meet women of 50 years of age. I mean, I'm almost 50, so... And yes, I still need to send the 5th comic to the owner of pen.nl, but to be honest, if I do it later, then it will get recognition a bit later again. And currently it's quite busy with everything I'm trying to combine with new studio and etc. And it's not something anyone else can do for me. Why are you suddenly thinking there's so much? You can go. You can go. There's probably not much I can do, but all those little things help. That I still need this Saturday, so I'm gonna keep it for a little while. That's pretty much all I can do for now. There's suddenly a cap on Outlook. Never was a cap, and suddenly there's a cap. So I sometimes need to delete all files, but I also use it as backups for my novels. So I have a cloud-based version that's very private. So I sometimes need to delete those things. So that usually means old books. Things that have already been published. I still have triple backups on 17 devices, so I'm not that worried. But once in a while I just have to delete a lot of things and try to stay away from the 100% you can no longer get any mails. So in the end I'm just gonna keep the copies of the very raw files, so those files I used the first time to write a story, and the published files. And this is not completely published yet, so I'm keeping it for a moment. Well, and let's empty this entire folder. Can I just delete it? There we go. That should help a lot with the size as well. It's probably gonna recalculate it and all. So, that was the penny. So, let's go to my door close up. I thought I had the program still open, but probably not. You can close anyway. No longer need you. Okay, so we still had to do. I'm going to do this little piece for now. A broken stool, which is a good thing it's broken because I suck at perspective. And if it goes fast, I might do this rubble and add some more rubble. As for the dead hand, not sure if I'm gonna do it today, but that's mostly because I simply haven't really decided yet how to make it look dead. Technically it's already been there for a while, but it hasn't been nibbled on, which technically is impossible. If you leave meat open in a forest, creatures will nibble on it. But in this story, it hasn't happened. The creatures were scared of it and just didn't want to touch it. Just call it like that. This is the override shade. Yep, let's keep it like this. And I'm going to do a new folder, kruk, because I don't like the English word stool. And that has nothing to do with it. So, of course everything is on a different spot now. I'm first going to zoom in. I'm gonna do correct colors later on. I first need to block it out. I mean, I did it with the other things as well, so that kind of worked. It's not perfection. because it's a homemade stool. So first I'm gonna make it look like a stool that just doesn't match this world. But that's okay. I want to make this like this. And it's mostly in the shade anyway, so that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Need a bit bigger because otherwise it's just too much. And now we smudge it all together. And if I have the overall shade, how much do you actually see of it? Not that much. I think this is one of the biggest frames I made thus far because it's an actual scenery. And while I know it is technically possible to have red chairs, I don't want that right now. So enjoy the redness while you can because it soon will be boring brown. Simply because they were poor people, very unfortunate souls, just to quote a certain sea witch. And they didn't have any money for expensive red furniture. Well, if you doubt about the color, there's a color wheel on the left. I can't really point at it except this way. And then you can see it's in the reds. So if it appears brown to you, you might want to check your color calibration. But that's up to you. And recently I got an explanation why people prefer shading with purple and why it actually works. Remember, I had no schooling, no art schooling, so everything is self-taught, which means I never had color theory. And that person just managed to explain it very clearly, that you usually shade with the opposite color in the color wheel. Well, I just prefer shading with purple as a whole, by the way, but that's just a preference. But that's why working with purple shade on skin tone, light skin tone, I repeat, light skin tone, with purple works so well. And if you have brown, that actually, if you have a dark color brown, that usually falls underneath the orange. That's why it still works to shade with purple. Wait, is that or the opposite? I thought it was, by the way, blue that had the opposite of purple. What's the color wheel? Let's get it for a moment. Yeah, they usually want blue with orange because that's the opposite side, and yellow and purple. But skin tones, the light versions, are usually between the yellow and the orange, hence why purple still fits. Anyway, if you agree with it or not, that's fine by me. I like it. Okay, and I need some actual dark shading. Very dark shading at the bottom. Not to mention shading of the on the floor, but that will follow soon. Now some highlights. And I prefer highlighting with yellow because that's opposite of purple apparently. That was not a well thought intended idea. That was just how things went. I like shading with yellow, and apparently that's the opposite color, so maybe that's why I like working with yellow. Okay, so it's very bright and cheerful right now. So while it's saving, I'm opening yet another folder. I really have a lot of folders open at the moment. Where is my recently scanned wood textures? Is this wood? No, it's not wood, but I actually really like it as a texture. That's not the one I need. This is the one I need. As you can see, the original pattern had glitter in it. Just to get a little bit of texture in it. And making it browner. Oh, it's very reddish now. But I actually like those, so that's fine. I can always just make it brown this way. A very vibranty brown. There we go. And it's still not shading underneath and the overall shading, so there's still plenty of things that need to be done. But that was not the pattern I was looking for. I recently scanned a lot of wood textures. Should be somewhere around here. What's this? Yep, there's wood texture. It's a bit dark. And making it a bit more vibrant because it's easier to make it less vibrant than it is to make things more vibrant. Now you just can't see the texture that well. That's better. Wow, lovely, not what I'm looking for. Not even, no, not even this way. Overlay. I actually want something more prominent. Is there something? First we're gonna save it. And considering the file is getting huge, but we're almost done. And even adjust. Tonal correction, brightness, contrast. Okay. Tone curve. Never work with this, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just sliding things in the hopes of getting a nice result. And now I need to have a shade. And that needs to be outside for some other reason. Because otherwise it just won't do it. Need a little bit more over here. That needs to be quite dark, but not too dark. Okay. Now the inside overall shadings. Still think the stool is a bit too bright. And I'm just gonna do some that vase thingy vase. So let's do that. Nice bright color, so I actually know what I'm doing. And then you can go up. Okay. I can hear the tram. You don't usually hear it over here, but sometimes you do. Usually when the wind is right. Midtone, that's a very hard midtone. I probably can't see it that right because the shade is already on. And yellow is already a tricky color to shade. I actually like this technique of coloring and creating items. It goes quite fast. Maybe this is something the official artists and pros also use. I'm kind of new in this, so if you know me, it's I always learn by doing and not by listening to others. Yep, I like this painterly style, even if it's not perfect. I just really like it. Downside, you can't really shade yellow with yellow, or actually highlight. I'm really proud of this vase. It's just working right and I'm liking it. I don't care if other people disagree. I like it. This is supposed to be outside for some odd reason. So for some odd reason I can't do a drop shade if it's in the combined folder. It just doesn't want to do it then. Oh, I like this. I'm not gonna touch this anymore. This looks good. This looks good. Very, very good. Your eye might be drawn to the vase. A lot less now. So that means just some random rubble. I missed some shade over here. And the dead hand. Well, the random rubble is probably just gonna be, well, random rubble. I do need some extra shading over here. And maybe I should make some plants inside. We don't know how long this has been, but considering there's grass on the door and everywhere, it might be longer than intended. Inside green. Not much, just gonna do a little bit of inside green. This is too bright and cheerful. Okay, I just need to mute this a lot. It's okay if there's some greenish, but okay, different brush. Okay, that's a bit too bright and cheerful again. Still need to be less saturated. It's still too cheerful and bright and happy and smudge the floor a bit and make this less bright because seriously that's bright. It's probably behind the text frame anyway. Okay, now some rubble. Just gonna do that the same folder. And I'm just gonna do some random splotch thingies. So first what we're gonna do is add a layer for some color variation. And I'm gonna try something very stupid. Because this has quite some color variation. Mm-hmm. If I put normal. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it on normal. Now, how to shade this easily? There we go. I need to see what I'm doing. There we go. That's purple. Oh, you're not doing it again. And I'm just going to blur. That's a bit too much. And then some yellow. Okay. Some more rubble. So that means the last one is the dead arm. And it's very cute that I drew it palm down, but it should be palm up actually. Eesh. So what we're first going to do is blob the hand again. And we're going to make it very bony. It's probably still too soft. So that's the dead arm. So what we're first gonna do is use that trick of coloring again. There's a third one here somewhere. Fingers are probably broken. No, I never saw or actually studied a dead hand before, so and to be honest, I'm not intending to ever study it. There are just some things I'm not willing to study just yet. It's almost 11, so I'm kind of have to call it a day soon. Need a bigger brush. Must be careful not to overwork it. So I'm first gonna shade it. Maybe make it extra dark. Just so it won't be noticeable what it is immediately. Okay. Now, as for a skin tone, considering the region, it has to be a light skin tone. So first I'm gonna do a light skin tone. This is already quite grayish, which is nice, but needed a little more, bit more. Okay, this is actually the color I'm supposed to be going eventually, but this is a bit too dead already. It needs to be slightly less dead. Am I actually coloring anything? Is there a difference? You see no difference. Okay. That's a bit too much already. Might have the pinky broken off. Okay, just needs to be a bit more blended. So I'm just gonna duplicate this layer and work on the duplication and blur it slightly. I said slightly, very slightly. Now first we're gonna do the shading outside to make it match. And then we're gonna add some more details. So don't worry, not done yet. I need some more details. And I'm gonna do it a light purple. Probably gonna need some over here, yep. And some dark purple over here. Still need to match some more. Okay. Now to find a nice blending layer, which is gonna be a quite interesting. First I'm gonna delete this little part because that's starting to annoy me. It's okay if the thumb is a bit weird because, well, it could be broken. I just need some more matching colors. Maybe slightly less. That's better. I do need more matching shading. And a bit more at the bottom. Now, the hand is a bit too prominent. It's a bit too bright. So I'm gonna try darken it. Okay, it's just that the thumb is really, really bothering me. It's okay if it looks wrong because it can be broken, but it just looks barely visible. Okay, and this is bothering me as well. And now I just want some blue veins. And there's not much veins in the fingers because the blood has already retracted from there. Don't really like these veins. Let's make them lighter. Just remove it. Maybe slightly less. Still think the hand is too bright. And it's mostly the tips of the fingers. It's a bit too prominent, isn't it? I know there's about here is the text field, so it's right above the text field. Is it possible for me to just first lock these together? Is that something I can move as a... Yep. It's thing now. Is perhaps I can move it down here. And then if I move it right here, it's behind the with a bit of green. Okay. So that means, where's my green? Where did my green go? Wait. Here did my green go. There we go. It's just that this little piece of rubble should move. Okay, for some odd reason I can't move the layer because I probably did something wrong. I think I locked a layer by accident. Wait. I think I'm working with the wrong layer. And then if you have the text banner, that's pretty much over here. So I think this huge frame is done. And yes, I am going to import it. I mean, I worked very hard on it. Took me months. So it's saving right now. Black screen is normal. First I'm gonna close this just to have less open. Then you can go. Then of course I need nope, that's not how this works. Right, this has been a long time, so I need to find back everything. That's not where I put it. How did I find it again? Well, first of all, let's get this running. There we go. Images. Ta-da! That's off screen. Okay. Open project. I know I can learn things easily, so don't really forget things. Just need to freshen things up. Mm-hmm. You got the cottage. Call it a house. And then I think it's supposed to be this one. Wait. It needs to be... And it's really just this little part that needs the door. It really makes you wonder why the heck we did it. Launch project. Yeah, well. I'm just clicking through the story right now. Okay, go ahead. We know this one. The lovely house on the prairie. Go investigate. As you can see, it does not work. Why? Was it because it didn't like capitalization? No, it has capitalization. Maybe it's too long. How about just calling it door? Okay. Launch project. Really, I should make a skip to this part button next time. I can just skip a few things. There we go. Okay, go investigate. There we go. It's too big. Why is it too big? It's the same size as everything else. That's annoying. No, it's not the same size. Interesting. So then we're just going to reopen it. And for some odd reason, this image was bigger than everything else. It's higher, it's taller, it's whatever. I don't know why that is. Probably because I wanted a lot of detail. Wait, first, keep aspect ratio. No idea why it's suddenly so much bigger than everything else. Something went wrong, that's obvious. First I'm gonna do it like this. Renaming the file. At least it works. It works fine. Just need some fine tuning for that scene. Okay, beautiful house. There we go. Okay, you don't see the vase. That's a hidden gimmick for the art book. You still see it one moment, so. Okay. That works. Okay, that works too. And we're back to the beginning. Okay, scene complete. Well done me. So I wish I would have something to say very important about this. Scene complete. We'll finally I will post something on the blog for this. But of course I won't be able to show everything, so then we just do blur. Blurred. We have the door as a backup, the complete door. We have the smaller version. I have no idea what went wrong with the art, that it was drawn bigger. But hey, we have something nice for the eventual print version where you can see these details. So, another scene complete. I will call it a night for now. It's past 11, way past my bedtime. So I'll be seeing you next time, whenever that will be. I wanted to wave at the screen, but that doesn't work. So this is bow to the screen. Goodbye.